Mimi ni mtajiri, mimi ni mhubiri mtajiri. Nafikiria mambo ya mabillions ya nini, takataka hizo. Hiyo niko nayo tosha tu, nimemuona Mungu. Hello?
Pastor James Nganga is no doubt one of the richest and most famous pastors in Kenya. He owns Neno Evangelism Center, and many know him for his humor and touching sermons which are majorly aired on TV. Through his televangelism service, he commands thousands of followers from all over the country. Although many know him as the rich pastor he is, very few know what he had to go through to build his empire. Would you believe me if I told you that Pastor Nganga has grown from pushing a Mkokoteni to becoming a billionaire? Stick around to the end of this video to find out how he did it. But before we continue, take a moment to support us by clicking the subscribe button so that you never miss when we upload new videos like this. James Nganga, also known as Commander-in-Chief, was born in Subukia, Nakuru County on September 5th, 1952. He was the fifth born in a family of 9 which comprised 7 boys and 2 girls. Due to his poor background, James Nganga struggled to acquire formal education. He didn't complete Form 4, and mind you, those were the days when education mattered. So, he knew that getting formally employed was out of the picture. He had to find a way out. As a result, James Nganga was forced into crime just to make ends meet. However, it didn't take long before the police finally caught up with him. He was first arrested and jailed in 1972 when he was just 18. He would later spend the next 20 years in and out of prisons like Kamiti, Naivasha, and Shimolatewa. One day, during a church service at Shimolatewa prison, the Spirit of God touched him, and this marked his turning point. The sermon made him do a lot of soul searching, after which he decided that enough is enough. He was tired of living a life of constantly looking over his shoulders. He wanted to get saved and transform his life. According to a recent interview, he disclosed that some of his prison friends were not happy with his decision and even tried to discourage him. However, he gave them a deaf ear and went ahead to do what his heart told him to do. It was from that point on that he started seeing the hand of God in his life. During one of his court trials, he confessed to a female judge that he was guilty of the crime of robbery with violence that he was being charged for. The whole court was shocked when he revealed that the main reason for confessing was because he was now a saved man. It seems like the judge was touched by Nganga's honesty because she reduced his sentence, after which he was released from prison never to look back again. As you might expect, life outside prison wasn't easy for him. He had no family or friends to look up to, which forced him to start hustling to make ends meet. At first, he started with a Mkokoteni. He used it to help travelers to move their heavy luggages from one place to another. He taught himself basic money management skills, which I'm sure you know is very important in business matters. He reinvested most of his returns into his businesses, which made him grow exponentially. On the other hand, he had already started preaching the gospel in Mombasa and was slowly starting to gain recognition. He was recognized in all the churches he attended and preached in, and soon he started his own movement. He also cycled to places that he had never been to, preaching his daily sermons. And in no time, he managed to establish his first church at Chandaria, Mombasa. One day during a prayer session at his church, he prayed for a Mzungu who had cancer, and surprisingly, he got cured. In appreciation, he wanted to repay Pastor Nganga for praying for him and asked him to request for whatever it is that he wanted, and he would pay for it. Pastor Nganga, being the smart guy he is, told him that he wished to broadcast his sermons on TV, and just as he was promised, his wish was granted. At that time, James Nganga was the only pastor preaching sermons on TV, and that made him a nationwide sensation. Within 3 months, people started flocking into his church from all over the country. And within just 2 years, his following had increased from just a few people to 4,500 church members. In 2001, Pastor Nganga decided to relocate to Nairobi to try out his luck in the city. By this time, he was kind of stable and could support himself. All he needed to do was put in the work to build his following, and that is exactly what he did. He took a bank loan of 42 million Kenyan shillings in 2004 and bought a piece of land at Railways Nairobi, which later became the official location of the headquarters of Neno Evangelism Center.
Nikawa nahubiri kule Ngala, nikaja nikakodeshwa kakiwanja kadogo hapo. 2004 kabao kakawekwa hapo for sale. Tukakaa, nikafuata hiyo namba, nikaenda Central Bank, nikapewa wale watu ambao wanahusika na hiyo plot. Tukaanza kuongea na wao, wakaniuzia 32 million, nilipe 10%, alafu zingine nilipe 90 days. Nikaenda kwa Equity, tukaagree na wao na nikalipa hiyo 10%. All of a sudden wakaregesha tena kwa TEDA, nikaiona kwa Kenya Gazette. Tukaenda tuka-apply tena, wakasema unless now you pay 42 million. Tukasaini hiyo agreement, nikaenda kwa benki ya Equity, wakanilipia hiyo title.
Pastor Nganga is now a very influential figure in Kenya. He now associates with wealthy and rich people from all over the world, including politicians. Politicians salivate for crowds that pastors like him can pull. They need numbers during elections, so you can imagine how they value people with influence like Nganga. While in Nairobi, Pastor Nganga also experienced immense growth in his business adventures. He started a car dealership business just besides his church, which opened more opportunities for him to acquire more wealth. Now Pastor Nganga confidently says that he is a rich pastor without fear or shame. Other properties he owns include Sunny Hill Hotel, Kajiado Mansion and Farm, an expensive mansion in Karen, and expensive cars. For Sunny Hill Hotel, the pastor revealed that he was planning to sell it because he wanted to get funds to expand his ministry in America. He also added that he would sell it for about 800 million Kenyan shillings. Pastor James Nganga has also been involved in various controversies and scandals. For instance, he had a feud with the government where Kenya Railways tried to claim ownership of the piece of land on which the headquarters of Neno Evangelism Center was established. Nganga was accused of acquiring the piece of land fraudulently, but the case never went through. He revealed that he bought the piece of land from the Central Bank of Kenya and produced the necessary documents to support his claims.
Hata mimi kuja uniulize nimetoa wapi hii gari, nitakuonesha kule nimeenda, wala wamenipatia.
He also clashed with politicians like William Ruto and Murkomen, just to mention a few, who he said were key in plotting to displace him from the railway's piece of land. Another time, he was involved in a case that involved the death of a woman which was caused by reckless driving, but the case was later dropped. Although many tried to bring him down, one thing that has made many admire him is his firm belief in success and abundance. Now, James Nganga is over 70 years old and living the life. Looking back at his history, we can say that he is a true embodiment of rising from the ash. From pushing a Mkokoteni to making it as a billionaire pastor, the sky is always the limit. What are your thoughts concerning this inspiring story? Feel free to join the conversation in the comment section below. See you on the next one. Peace out.